Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
All right, give it to me.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Ain't nobody let me better. Ain't nobody make me feel this way.
That needle drop got me on that one. Well, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Nurse you bully me host Leroy, aka a diva is a female version of a hustler, with my co-host.
Okay, yeah. This is Eli, aka Iron Hot Dog.
There you go. All right, and we also got to give a shout out to our co-host Natalie. I guess
All hail the Doombot.
all hail the Doombot. So yes, they are here in effect, ready to take over everything. So, like I said, we're back in another episode. You already seen the thumbnail. You know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Ironheart, just the first 3 episodes, because that's all we've seen. So we're just going to go for that. And not also do that, Eli, also, since, we always do a new, whenever it's like a new show or comic book coming out, we always like do like a quick, like, who is it? Or basically like a guide for dummies, like, yeah, you deep dive. We're going to do a deep dive.
Did we not do that for when Wakanda Forever come out? Or did we do that for Namor?
Did we? That movie, honestly, that shit was so long ago. That was like 3 years. We need to refresh anyway. We need to refresh this every quarter. So, yeah.
Did people forget that she was in the last Black Panther movie?
Yes, they did. They did. They were like, "Oh, was that girl that was in it?" Yes, that was the one that was in the movie. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's jump into it. Okay, but before we jump into it, we do got to do our due diligence. Like I said, we're going to pay our respects for the celebrity death that happened this week, and we're going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about rest in peace to Walter Scott. So I know nobody knows who that is. You're like, who? Okay. Here's the thing. Walter Scott is one of the greatest R&B singers of all time. Okay. Well, he was one of the co-founders of The Whispers. And when I mean one of the co-founders, I mean he founded it with his twin, Scotty. So, yeah. I made a post saying that if they made Sinners in the 80s, this is what it would be. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thing.
What songs did he sing?
I am so glad you asked.
Okay.
A bunch of shit. But just some top stuff. I'm going to see if I can get away with a little bit of it. Here we go. Let's see. I think that's all I get away with for getting flagged.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay.
We might have gotten flagged just then. We're gonna find out in a second. also, that's just one of the songs. They did it.
And we begin to rise, steady rocking all night long.
All night long. Anyway,
Steady rock. Oh yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff they've made. I can't play all of them because we eventually will get flagged and taken down. So I'm not gonna play all of them. Point is, just go down, listen to the Whispers discography. The catalog has some of the greatest discographies of any R&B group ever. I'm putting them with anybody. Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, anybody.
Well, those were 2 bangers you just played. So
yeah, they have a list. They have a list of stuff, man. They really do. But we're not gonna talk about that. Just want to hit that. So rest in peace to Walter Scott.
Good journey, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, everybody download the Whispers playlist. Trust me, you're welcome. I just listen to them. I listen to them while I'm working on the podcast. While I'm just setting everything up, I'm listening to the Whispers. Like just cause, All right. So that being said, we move on. Let's get into the nitty gritty, the meat of the podcast. Just up into it because I think we have dilly dally too long. So yeah. All right. So like I said, we're gonna start off. We're gonna talk about a show that everybody is talking about. I don't know if everybody's seen it.
Love Island.
Yeah. So Ironheart, that's what's happening right now on Disney Plus. The first 3 episodes drop. The next 3 episodes drop this week. and that's it. So 6 episodes in and out, done. That's it. This is not going to be a weekly thing. So people thinking it's going to be a weekly thing. No, that's all Disney's doing. So you got 2 weeks to talk about Ironheart, and then we'll move on to something else. So that's what it is. But in the meantime, we're going to address Ironheart. Now, a lot of people don't know who Ironheart is, where she came from. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a deep dive on Ironheart, on Riri Williams. You know, for those that don't know that she was the same girl from Wakanda Forever. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start the deep dive. So before we do the deep dive, we got to start where it all began in 2015 with all new, all different Marvel. I know you remember that, Eli.
Oh, yes.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. Where the
that's
shit
where it all started. Or ended. Whichever your point of view, one or the other.
That was the beginning of the
That
end.
was the beginning of the end for Marvel right there. For people don't understand, I'm gonna throw 30 pictures right there because a lot of people going on that when this dropped in 2015, everything went to shit for Marvel because they pretty much just swapped out all their existing characters with different characters, all kind of stuff. Like I'm gonna just see if I can just throw some stuff up there, like totally awesome Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who else we got here? All new Wolverine. That was when X-23 became Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Also, we can talk about Jane Foster, Thor, Black Captain America. I'm missing some, Eli. You know I'm missing some. Red Wolf was a thing.
Nazi Cap.
Not that was a thing right at that time. They liked him. They loved him. They had
They
everything
loved
else. They loved him.
He got a pass.
I wonder why. Okay.
Wait a second now. Hey, you remember this? Here's a golden oldie. Well, Hydra weren't really Nazi.
Oh yeah, they tried. Y'all don't shut the fuck up with that shit.
Yeah, what? Iron Man's a black girl now? Fuck that shit. But hey,
and that's the great thing because the thing is, they say Riri for last. They say like Black Captain America, boom, Woman Thor, bam, all of a sudden like that, and everybody's like, what if they make Iron Man a black female teenager? They'll never do that shit. Then all of a sudden, bam, they gave it to you. And when they saw that shit, everything went to shit, you know. Because the funny thing about it, like Marvel in their infinite wisdom was promoting this image before the comic even dropped. We didn't know who she was, didn't know her name. Well, we knew it was Riri Williams. They was just like, and they were promoting her as the new Iron Man, which did not help things.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, like she really debuted like in Civil War II.
Dude, this is all coming, but now you realize we had this podcast.
I'm giving you PTSD. I know we had this. I'm giving you PTSD with all this shit. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, because the movies were doing great, but no one was reading the comics. You know?
Right. And the people that were reading the comics were boycotting down the street and torches and all kind of stuff. So
yeah.
So they were making it happen. So yeah, it was weird, but that's what was going on right now. So that's the crazy thing about it is that this podcast is older than Riri Williams.
Wow.
That's how we know all this stuff because we would document it in real time when it happened.
Yeah.
That's why Eli has PTSD now.
Well, yeah, because we talked about it. We were talking about it back then. We were
talking about it. Like every issue it dropped, we were like this. And the thing was, when she dropped, she was just Riri Williams. She was not Ironheart, anything like that. And like I said, she was in Invincible Iron Man comics, and they promoted her as the new Iron Man, and people just lost their shit. You know, Like I said, she was created by Brian Michael Bendis. The same thing. He also created Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And also, he did some other shit also. But we
Rogol Czar.
James Gunn gonna do something with him. Watch. But let's say so you had all stuff going on at the same time. It hit, and the way they introduced Riri was so crazy because, like I said, she just pops out of nowhere. She just showed up in the middle of Civil War II, and everybody looking like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, I'm Riri Williams, the new Iron Man. They're like, "Okay," and they just start fighting. Like nobody knew who she was. She just showed up. You know. Then Carol Danvers killed Iron Man. We're not gonna talk about that. We talked about it back then 10 years ago, but we're not gonna redrudge that up. And yeah, so he gave her an AI, you know, to help train her. So his AI was her mentor, you know. But some weird shit happened in the comics where Stark Enterprises took all the AI back because it was proprietary. Doesn't matter. So she created her own AI, and that's where Natalie came from. So if you wonder where Natalie came from, Natalie is in the comics. That is the thing. But the thing was, that was like the last issue of her run that got canceled. So we really didn't get much to do with that. So
yeah. I didn't read much Riri, but she would pop up in other things. You know, and other things I was
Champions
reading,
and-
she was, Champion. I was reading Champions. Yeah, wasn't she? Now, is she gay? Wasn't she going out with Viv for a little bit?
Viv was gay.
Okay.
And in love with Riri.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
whether here's the thing, Riri's sexuality is ambiguous. We've never known.
And of course,
On the show, we don't know. In the comics, we don't know.
And does that? Well, I mean, Viv is a machine, so does that technically make her a sex toy or something?
Yeah, but the thing is, Viv is just like, I'm a machine. I'm not a girl. I'm whatever. So yeah, so it's just like it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Whatever.
But she had a thing
man.
for Riri. But the thing is, Riri had a thing for Miles Morales in the comics. So that was weird. See, here's the thing. Like, and we're gonna talk
Miles
about this.
was. I can't. Okay, it's a soap opera. Everyone's
It's a soap opera. It's a they're all teenagers. They're all horny teenagers.
Yeah.
Even the robot is a horny teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
But the point is, and that's what I want to talk about. Like Riri, comic Riri and TV Riri are almost two different characters. Because the thing is with comic Riri, the way they establish her is that she was so into machines and working and stuff like that. She had zero communication skills. She didn't know how to relate to people at all. So even though she had a thing for Miles Morales, she always like talked crazy to him and always, you know, made it seem like she didn't like him, that he thought she didn't like him. You know, like, why is this girl always mean to me?
I like stuff.
Right. So, and to be honest with the way they was writing Riri, it almost made it seem like she was on the spectrum. It made it seem like that for a second. You know, that's how they was writing her. Funny thing is, like I said, Brian Michael Bendis wrote her. He created her. I hated his run. Everybody hated his run. It left, and that's the reason why Riri left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Yes, there were some racists. Yes, there were some sexists. I get all that. They are there. We're gonna address that in a second also. But at the same time, the way Bendis introduced her, it was bad. She just popped up out of nowhere in a series that everybody's supposed to just already know who he is. Tony Stark died. She takes over, beating the same people that Tony Stark was beating with zero training. Took over Latveria. Like all kind of weird shit. Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember
all that shit. Yeah,
it's all coming back. Yeah.
It's all coming back. So yeah. So here's the thing: Brian Michael Bendis did damage to her. You know, so every writer after him tried to fix Riri, like make Riri a relatable character. Best case scenario was Eve Ewing. Eve Ewing's Riri's run, which I highly recommend, was a great run. That's when she met Shuri. Her and Shuri clicked up, became best friends because they're both like girl geniuses and shit. You know. That's when we started, you know, really digging into Riri's psyche, because she had no personality in Bendis thing. She was just great at everything. But in this, they explore her. That's where Natalie came from. Eve Ewing is a Natalie creation, you know. Well, Natalie is Eve Ewing creation, I meant to say. So that's where all that came from. So Eve Ewing did her best to try to fix Riri. But the thing is, Bendis did so much damage, her run got canceled. So yeah, she introduced a new AI called Natalie. Last book of the issue is like ran like 12 issues. You know, shit like that. So it's like, damn. But that's what I like about this show. And I'm going to talk about the show also because the show takes a lot more from Eve Ewing's run than Brian Michael Bendis' run, if that makes sense. So, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, I can talk about the Hood. Talk about the Hood.
Yeah.
Because he's the main guy of the show. So we got to talk about him. Yeah, there we go. All right. So here's the thing. Eli, I don't know how much, well, you know about the Hood. You've been around.
He's actually, I dropped that run, but he was in one of the Ghost Rider runs recently.
Didn't he become Ghost Rider or some shit?
Kind of, sort of, but Johnny Blaze was after him. It's like, this is just like a few months ago. Like he's been popping up.
Yeah. I think he like either became Ghost Rider or something like that. But here's the thing. So we're going to talk about the Hood. Now you thinking like the Hood, okay, he's just the villain of the week like that. And for the most part he is. But the thing is, what you don't understand, for a 10-year run in the comics, the Hood was a problem for everybody. This dude was beating everybody's ass for no reason. He was like an Avengers level threat for no reason. We don't know why. They just loved him. Bendis loved this dude. So every time you turn around, like he was like whatever the Legion of Doom thing is, the Masters of Evil, that evil shit. Like he's just there. He just shows up. Like, why the fuck you here? Like at first he was like a low level threat. Like, okay, he's the new Kingpin. Okay, cool. They'll say he became like the new Dr. Doom. And then he almost became Sorcerer Supreme, and they couldn't do shit with this guy. He's the first human in Marvel Comics to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. For this dude could not be stopped for like a 10-year run. And then they kind of like slowed down. Like when Bendis left, he was like, okay, y'all stop hyping this dude up, man. Stop putting him over, you know. So then he just started getting his ass whooped, and this we started showing up in Ghost Rider comics and all kind of shit like that. But yeah, this dude was a problem. So I like what they're doing with him in the TV show. I don't know if he's going to go as crazy as he is in the TV show. And the thing is, in the TV show, well, in the comics, the hood came from Dormammu. He sold the soul of Dormammu.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think they're going to do it in the TV show. I think they're going to go a different direction. We'll see. Hold on. We have a gentleman caller. Let's see. The Christ, the way, the truth, and
All right.
oh yeah. Thank you for listening and the sermon. Okay. That's it. Other stuff happened to the show also, but I'm gonna spoil. Oh, all the like the hood's villains, like his crew, they're all comic book villains and shit. They're all from the comics and they all did shit. I'm trying to see one of them, like the twins. The twins, they call themselves the blood siblings, but in the comics, they're the blood brothers. But they're aliens with superpowers and shit, so it's the same, but it's not the same. You know, they're Iron Man villains, but whatever. We go down the road. Eric Andre played Rampage. He was in Punisher comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So I know Microchip. So after Microchip, I guess died or some shit like that, he became like his new Microchip.
Yeah.
Like his new hacker and shit.
No
So,
shit. I did not make that connection.
Yeah. So even like his the Hood's brother or cousin or whoever the fuck that guy was with the guy with the knives, they didn't name him, but I almost think that's Stiletto. Stiletto was a Luke Cage villain. So, but like I said, it's pretty much just in name. They have like one little quirk like that, but they're really not the people they're playing. They're just showing up. So
The MCU version.
yeah, the MCU is like the hacker. I think the hacker was like a Spider-Man villain or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So yeah, that's the thing. All right. So that being said, we can move into the show now. I'm not going to address the controversy. I know there's a lot of controversy on it. I'm not going to address that. I'm just going to talk about the show because I think we spend so much time talking about people talking about the show. We don't talk about the show.
Yeah, we addressed the controversy like 2 months ago when we knew there was going to be a controversy.
We knew it was going to transfer because it's clockwork. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
When we knew Snow White caught shit, we knew Ironheart was going to catch shit. I mean, that's just like these guys like work on a timetable. So yes, we're going to talk about the show. So what do I think about the show? I like the show. Like I said, the show. Honestly, Eli, I think I should let you go first because the thing is, when Echo came out, you was like quiet as a hooker in church, and I was just like going crazy talking about Echo this and Echo that. So let's flip it. You go first.
Okay. All right. Well, what I thought about what did I think of Ironheart? Well, you know what? Surprisingly, I thought it was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, because I know with these Disney Plus shows, you have very low expectations.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of, most of them, for the most part, for me, have been like mid-tier. They're okay at best for me. They're entertaining. You know, they have their moments, but I'm not like excited. The thrill is gone for me. You know,
right? You don't stay up at 2:00 in the morning waiting for Agatha all along or some shit.
Yeah, So I was like, I was cautiously optimistic. I saw the trailer. That looks kind of cool. I'll check it out. But I wasn't expecting much from it. You know, just because that's been Marvel's track record for a while now. So,
5 years.
Yeah. So I watched it and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. The first episode was a little slow for me. But by the end of the episode, when she got the AI, when Natalie popped up, I was like, oh shit. And then I was like compelled to watch the next episode. Cause like, I was just going to give it, watch one episode. And then by the, it was a little slow. I was like, I ain't going to watch all these 3 tonight.
Right.
But then by the end of that episode, okay, well, I think I'll watch the next episode. So yeah, it was doing just enough to keep me along. And by the second episode, I was liking it a lot more. I was starting to settle into the very, not only her character, but her struggle and the dynamic, which I won't talk about right now. But I was also liking like the tone. Like it had a very CW type of tone to it, of course. A very sitcom type of tone. It's very sitcom-y. Small Wonder. I'm getting old. Right? I'm old, right? Does anybody know who Small Wonder is? If you do, you're old. Boy has.
I know what Small Wonders is. Everybody who wrote this show was on cocaine, so yeah. But anyway,
a boy gets a pet robot. Yeah, that's especially that scene when Riri's mom was talking to Natalie, the AI program, and they're all like hanging out and shit. I'm like,
right, just talking. Honestly, I'm so glad that scene happened Because if that scene didn't happen, I would have thought that Natalie was in Riri's head the whole time.
Yeah, and it was just a funny,
Definitely.
goofy moment that I was like, you know what? I would love to see a show about that. You know,
Right.
it was reminding. Oh God, I'm old.
Alf and all that shit.
Alf.
Like, yeah.
You know, I was a big. You know, I loved Different Strokes, and I was the Brady, but all that situational comedy. But with again, I'm old. Hollywood Shuffle.
Wow. Okay, you going back with that one.
You remember
Okay.
that TV show that they were watching in Hollywood Shuffle, The Bat in My Basement or whatever? It was
Yeah.
it was kind of like it was something goofy like that. Like I kind of want to watch that show. And so when that moment it was like goofy little moments like that I was like, I kind of like that. Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's sort of it's a fun tone that I was sort of enjoying. That's kind of balanced the seriousness of her character. You know, so I was really getting into Riri's character as far as she's, I don't want to say the opposite of Tony. Well, she's from the opposite class of Tony Stark.
Right. Because I don't think she's opposite Tony. I think she's very similar to Tony Stark.
They are very, they're just, you know, she's just poor. Tony Stark was a billionaire. He was a privileged billionaire. She's not. She has to hustle and, you know, to try and get her suit done. She's got to, you know, do some dirt, do some grimy shit to get her shit, to get to build her suit, you know? So kind of the opposite of Tony Stark as far as he just had everything handed to him, you know? So she's got to hustle her way and she's got to do her some crimes, you know, which I was.
And I do want to bring up the people saying like, well, Tony Stark was able to build this in the cave. Yeah, that was his shit he had in the cave.
Yeah.
Like it was Stark weapons that was already there. So yeah.
Yeah, and also Tony Stark was a warmongering piece of shit too.
Before he was a gun runner.
Yeah, before he became Iron Man, he was kind of a piece of shit, you know. So, you know, so he has a similar character arc as Riri. Riri's just broke, you know.
Right.
so I was digging that she has to do what she has to do, and I'm into crime capers. I like, you know, crime stories and stuff. So yeah, by the third episode, I was pretty much hooked. And when the cliffhanger at episode 3, I was like, oh shit, damn, I gotta wait another. So I was hooked. I didn't expect that. I was, like I said,
it does feel like she's in over her head. Like you can feel the struggle. Like
she's a complicated character. And that's interesting to me. You know, yeah, she's smart. She's brilliant. She's, you know, she's a genius, but she's broke. And what that whole challenge makes her story interesting. The fact that she is doing crimes and joining a gang and doing all these robberies to try and, you know, build her own suit is interesting. So I got into it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So yeah, I surprisingly enjoyed it more than I expected to. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So thank you, Lau. Okay, I thought we were gonna like argue and fight all day. Okay.
No.
So like I said, I enjoyed the show also, man. The main thing I like about the show is that it's so unapologetically Chicago. Because you can see the whole thing in Chicago in it right there. Like the dude that was in there preaching about how Thanos was going to come back and kill us and all this shit like that. That's a real dude that's standing on the street on there. They just filmed him like he was just saying crazy shit. Like everybody in Chicago just knows that guy. So yeah. And it's funny, like Tony Stark won't be able to save you now. And when he said that, Riri flew right over his head. So I'm like, I see what you're doing there. Okay. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on like that. All the characters in it are interesting. I'm liking the supporting cast they have. I'm liking the criminal cast they have. I like that too. Just her her conflict with the hood going on right now, and that whole crime caper and her ambition. Like she knows the guy is shady, but she was like, maybe I can put that to the side to get what I need accomplished. So it's like that whole ambition versus morality thing, and that's what's complicated. Like she's at war with herself with that.
Yeah.
You know, and my favorite thing about the show, like I said, the show was like, okay, it's cool, but Natalie like brings the whole thing. Like Natalie made the show for me.
Yeah,
not just because it's an AI thing, because it's basically a sci-fi version of her facing her demons. Like she has to confront the ghost of her past. Because here's the thing: out of all the shit we talking about, Riri, she has PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah. when whatever, what happened to her in Chicago, what happened to her family, when she went to MIT, she never came back, never made contact with anybody. She left. So now she's forced to deal with that shit she didn't want to deal with, especially when she had this ghost in front of her that knows everything about her.
Yeah.
And I like that's but so it's almost like that's what I'm saying. Like we're saying because we're seeing Tony Stark's thing in it. Tony Stark had PTSD.
Yeah, that's what drove him to create Ultron.
That's when Drake becomes early, his PTSD, right? So it's the same thing with this, yeah.
Yeah, so there's
she has to confront that
similarities.
also.
Yeah, it stanzas, it rhymes.
And it's funny about it that you see this war on the internet about Ironheart. That's what the war is from. You got this half people saying, I love Riri. It's like what if Tony Stark was a black girl from the hood? And then you got the other half like, I hate Riri. It's like what if Tony Stark was a black girl from the hood? So that's where you got that conflict going on right there. So I like that. What else I like about this show? The special effects are surprisingly good on this show.
They're fine.
Some of these Disney, because some of these Disney Plus shows, they're special. Whoa, man, what the hell? Y'all need to cook that shit some more. That shit like PS2. But this shit looks pretty good. And I'm so glad we're done with the nanotech bullshit. She just press a button and just forms all over it. Nah, I'm sick of that shit, man. The suit is actually practical.
I like that she has to get in and out of the suit. I like that it was glitching and all that. I like, it was. I was getting like Peter Parker vibes. She's in over her head and can't catch a break and
right. That's what's funny about it because so we got Riri in the MCU, but like I said, in the MCU we got Tony Stark going to a brilliant genius teenager's house that's a dumpster diver, and he gives them the Iron Man suit. Well, that's Riri's storyline in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So it just happened to be they switched it from Riri to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man technically doing what Riri did in the comics, while Riri is out on her ass in the MCU, where in the comics she didn't have to struggle like that because Pepper Potts just scooped off the street, just like, here's Tony's lab. He's dead. He ain't doing shit. You can have it. So here, she has to struggle and get that shit like that. And that's what that to us. So it's different. Riri in the comics, and different Riri in the TV show. But I'm thinking I'm liking Riri in the TV show better because we're seeing more of that struggle. And plus, having Riri being antisocial didn't make for an interesting character. This one, she's basically a presence in the room. That's what I like about this actress.
She would just be another Wolverine, another Punisher, another Batman,
right?
Another Daredevil. Well, Daredevil gets out there, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Those loner characters, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. And another reason I like this show because I like the main actress, Dominique Thorne. Like I've seen her in a bunch of stuff before she even got with Marvel. And I was like, okay, she's got something. So she's like the tiniest person in the room, any room she walks into, but she has this big personality where she found like she commands the presence with whoever she's talking to, even if the dude, people like twice as big as her, even without the suit, and I was liking that, digging that from her.
That's what I was saying. When she was scrapping, I was like, I'm hoping she learned some fighting skills from Wakanda
later on, but I'm so glad she didn't kick that dude's ass because that would have took me out the show. No, that dude was overpowering her, and I was like, yes, that's what she is. She's tiny. Yeah. He's supposed to. Like she's supposed to just kick his ass out of nowhere. That's not how this works. So yeah. So hopefully after this, she catch up, hook up with Shang-Chi or some shit, teach some shit. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was generally excited. Like, the whole hood thing. I'm like, oh my, I was thinking, I don't think Ghost Rider is going to show up, but it's introducing that, more of that supernatural realm, of the MCU, and she's like, oh, science versus magic, that whole thing coming back, and. And
the thing is, like the whole thing with Riri playing around with magic, we've actually reviewed that in the comics also. Remember, she had the 10 rings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And and Tony was just like, you shouldn't play around with that, Riri. You might go crazy. She's like, nah, relax, Tony. It's cool. I got this under control. She didn't have it under control. That shit went crazy. Matter of fact, I talked to one of the Marvel writers on Twitter that I think her name was Stephanie Williams. She basically showed pictures of her unreleased Ironheart comic that was supposed to get released, where she was going to have the 10 rings. There was going to be a whole comic where she had the 10 rings, but it got canceled.
Stephanie Phillips, I think I follow her on TikTok.
Phillips Williams, I don't know, but all I know is a writer that was supposed to write Ironheart, and she was supposed to spin out of that run where Riri had the 10 ring, and the whole run was supposed to be about her figuring out how to use the 10 rings. but they never released the comic. So she was like, "Huh, here's the page. This is what would have happened." So yeah, and I think she was gonna fight Justin Hammer's daughter or some shit. I don't know. Fuck her.
Well, we got Ezekiel in this one.
We got Ezekiel. Spoiler if anybody hadn't checked that out. So yeah, Ezekiel is in the comics also. I was always wondering when he was going to show up in the comics. Ezekiel is a bad guy, also a villain, wants to get revenge on Tony Stark for Tony Stark killing his dad, shit like that. But in this one, he seems like a cool guy so far.
It seems like, from what you're saying, it seems like he's more like Riri in the comics.
Yeah, they feel like they have that dynamic. They have that dynamic, that since we can't have Tony Stark, but he's not like a mentor. It's almost like she's mentoring him, kind of.
Yeah, he's. It's almost like he's her Micro.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that
like
was. But I do like that dynamic. When they hook up and when they were singing the Alanis Morissette song, I was laughing. Like,
Yeah. And that's the thing I want y'all to understand. Every black person has a white song in their back pocket they know word for word. Everybody, it don't matter. And I'm talking about Michael McDonald. I'm talking about like a white song, white song. So yeah.
Oh well. Tell me more. Tell me
more.
That ain't my white
All
song.
that shit.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, in the back pocket, you can see the drop of a hat. We're not gonna go there, but I'm just saying. So when Riri started singing it, I was like, "Oh, that's Riri," because it would just make sense. She would know that shit. So yeah.
Yeah, but it was just a funny moment of them both like singing and like, bonding. It was just a funny moment, and that's what I was like. It was like those grounded moments that I was digging on, which I feel like that felt genuine. It wasn't just cheesy jokes. It felt like genuine, which is what the MCU was. It felt like, yeah, they were super godlike beings, but they felt human at times, and that moment felt like genuine. It wasn't just jokes to tell jokes and to be goofy and comic relief. I mean, it was, but it just showed these two characters bonding, so which I enjoyed. Just like the mom, chatting with Natalie, like, you're an AI, and like, at first, because they could have went, oh my God, it could have went all dramatic, but it didn't. The fact that
but the first thing when she saw Natalie was the exact expression I thought she was going to have.
Yeah.
Like, get behind me, Satan. Like, that's exactly what I thought a black mom would say.
Oh no!
Did you see Cree Summers? Did you see Cree Summers in the
Burning Stage? We won't talk about that.
Burning Sage, and I was like, every black family has that one black auntie that burns sage and has is obsessed with crystals. So when I saw it, I like, man, I had to look like, who's writing this? Like, this is getting me, man.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Like, it feels that even though it's a superhero show with all kind of crazy shit, magic shit like that, it feels grounded. That's what I like about it. Now, we'll say this. Like I said, this is based in Chicago, and it's showing a whole bunch of Chicago shit. If y'all don't show Harold's Chicken, I'm not going to point. I'm just saying that. So, like, but, yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can say about this show. Like I said, the first 3 episodes, I'm enjoying. Now, like I said, I've seen IGN shit on this show and stuff like that, but they're saying they saw the whole season. Now, if the next 3 episodes, drop off the floor, off the planet or like that, then okay, then we gotta adjust our score, stuff like that. But I don't see it happening. I don't know. Maybe it will.
Yeah. It's I'm digging what's happening. I'm digging what was going on. I liked the heist, and both heists, when they started playing the Shaka Khan song,
and Eli, I had to look it up. I was like, okay, that's a jamming ass song, but why are they playing Shaka Khan? Then I looked up Shaka Khan, born in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, show.
Hey, I had the break-in soundtrack. I said I'm old. Remember, I'm old.
Right. So I like it, but I like it. Like the song fit, like with the action stuff going on, like that, Riri Fly stuff like that. So I'm just enjoying it. Yeah. Like I said, the hood, the crew, and we know more shit is coming. Also, like I said, a spoiler for next week: Zelma is coming. For those that don't know who Zelma is, Zelma was Doctor Strange assistant in the Donny Cates run. she knows magic and shit too. But
Donny
we're gonna
Cates.
see how she fits in there. So yeah.
Donny Cates, Doctor Strange. I don't know if I read that.
Donny Cates had a Doctor Strange run where not only did Zelma show up, he also had a ghost dog called Bats.
Huh.
I don't know if
Okay.
you know Bats. Bats is a character that will never show up in the MCU because in order for him to show up, you got to kill a dog. That Loki killed a dog and then gave him the Doctor Strange as a ghost. That's just not going to happen. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. So overall, like I said, like the show, first 3 episodes, good. Now I will say this. If you want to pick apart the show, there is stuff you can pick apart this show on. Yeah. This is not a perfect show. This is not a show above criticism. It is not that. There are some stuff, head scratches. We talking about like Riri just said she needed $1 million to build this AI. Then she built in a mom's house on a mom's laptop. Like, okay, I thought she needed like a whole bunch of power to do this stuff, because she built the AI from scratch. Because I'm just saying, it's a bunch of stuff like that where you think your heart like, wait, what, But I'm enjoying the vibe of the show. I'm just going along with it.
Yeah,
just like whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Like you said, it's not a perfect show.
Mm-hmm.
But if your only gripe is it's woke, well then shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. But here's my thing about this. Like I said, it's not a perfect show. If you want to pick it apart, you can pick it apart from the scenes as much as you want to. But at the end of the day, are you entertained?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And if you're entertained, isn't that the whole point?
That's all that matters. You supposed
to watch it? Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to walk away from this and gain knowledge of self.
You'll forgive the biggest fucking plot holes if as long as the shit's good and you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying the ride, you will forgive whatever the fuck. We just talked about Jaws last week. Considered one of the best movies of all time. He blows up the shark by shooting in its oxygen tank. That cannot happen.
Now, see, why are you spoiling for me, Eli? I thought that could happen.
I didn't know. You didn't see the Mythbusters? A bunch of shit cannot happen on that movie, but we don't give a shit because it's cool. So
now, see, unless you would have said that, I never would have known that. I just would have went about my business.
Yeah,
because it looked cool.
Yeah, but the point is, like, we forgive shit. We forgive unbelievable shit as long as we're engaged, as long as the characters are cool and all that. And that's the thing, is I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying her character arc. I'm seeing the similarities between her and Tony Stark. And I'm liking the classism dynamic. That's just what I am responding to. That's just me. I'm not and I'm not a black person, so I'm not liking it because it's black, and I have to like it because, I had critiques about Echo, and I'm Native. I thought Echo was okay.
Echo. I didn't love the show, but I'm just saying. But I think I liked it more than you did.
Yeah,
it's a masterpiece.
And it was the same shit back then. I have my gripes, but if your gripe is it's woke and she's a chick and blah blah, then your opinion's invalid.
Right. If I hear DEI woke, I'm like, okay, let me not pay attention. I'm glad you're saying it earlier so I can not pay attention to you.
Yeah, that's not a critique. That's just you being an asshole. You're not critiquing.
And I'm glad you said it. Let's talk about the voice thing, because I'm seeing a bunch of other stuff saying like, I don't fit the demographic. I don't think this show for me. It's not made for me because it's a black teenage girl. And I'm not a black teenage girl. Okay, I get that, but at the same time, like, aren't like over 70% of these Marvel movies like a bunch of middle-aged white dudes?
Yeah.
I'm not a middle-aged white dude. I remember we grew up reading the comics on this. We grew up on the comics, Eli, when we were teenagers, kids, reading this shit about middle-aged white men.
Yeah.
We're not the demographic. We read that shit anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you can't. If we can do that shit, why can't you just watch a show about a teenage black girl?
Yeah, that's just the thing. Us people of color have just lived vicariously through stories. Mm-hmm. That's just what we do.
So that's the thing. Don't
get
me like
the very few times when we finally get to see people that look like us. This is the shit that happens. This is the shit we got to deal with.
Every time we finally get shit to look like us, no, but like I said, but every other time it's a middle-aged white man that we got to sit there and watch that. Like, okay,
like I said, that's why Top Gun exists, motherfuckers. Go watch. Don't watch Riri. Go watch Top Gun, bitches.
Right. I have nothing in common with Bruce Wayne. But I can watch Batman. I can look at Batman, enjoy Batman. I can't. Well, Batman's not my demographic. Like, what the fuck? That don't make any fucking sense.
I know. It's stupid. It's bullshit. Or the
He's too rich. I can't.
Iron Man was a hero and Riri Williams, she's a criminal. Like, fuck you. Joker made $1 billion, motherfuckers.
Right.
we just had a
Tony
show
Stark was
about
a
the
criminal.
Penguin. The Penguin turned out to be a weird sex creep.
Right. There's love with his mom or some shit like that.
And now that's considered one of the best DC shows ever.
Right.
Like,
oh, but I guess you relate to that.
Yeah.
You relate to that. Okay. Yeah.
Art the Clown is selling all kinds of merchandise. Yeah.
Right.
Darth Vader is probably one of the most popular characters ever created. So fuck off with your, the villains. There's a villain. Fuck you.
And like I said, Tony Stark is a gun runner.
Yeah, he was a piece of shit.
The whole point of the movie was him getting out of that shit. He was a villain too. He was worse than Riri.
Yeah. Basically, he was, like I said, he was a fucking a CEO of a fucking arms company.
Yeah, I mean, if you really break down Iron Man, and I thought about this one, like the real villain of Iron Man was Tony Stark. Like the old Tony Stark, it was the new Tony Stark at war with the old Tony Stark. His past caught up with him in that movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the shit affected him where he decided to change his ways, and he still struggled with it throughout the whole fucking thing. Like that was Cap's beef with him. Like don't pretend you're a hero. You're not. You would never jump on the wire. I would just cut the wire. Yeah, because always a way out.
Right.
Yeah, that was their conflict to Civil War. Everything. Like Tony struggled with being a hero.
Right.
And let's get serious. The only reason he announced that he was Iron Man because he wanted the attention. Because he's an egomaniac.
He's an egomaniac. No, he can't have a secret identity. I want people to know I did this shit.
Yeah.
You know how much pussy I can get with that if I tell people I'm a superhero?
Yeah,
that's
Avengers.
what I was thinking.
Looks like a Christmas tree, only with more me.
Me.
Yeah.
Then he shows up at a press conference with dances and shit. Like, this is Tony Stark.
And in the comics, he's an alcoholic.
Right. He tells the bad guy. He gives the bad guy his address. Come see me. Like nobody does stupid shit like this, but Tony Stark will do that.
Yeah, so quit with the he's a hero and she's a criminal bull. That's bullshit.
Right. Like that's the whole point. Like the twins with Wanda and Quicksilver came after him because of the bullshit he did.
Yeah.
Like in their head, they're the heroes. He's the villain.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, we know really why they don't like it.
We know why. They come up with every excuse except why they really want it. Now, to be honest with you, Eli, in this new age of social media, some people are just flat out saying it. There's no pretext behind it or hide behind it. They just flat out saying it. So fuck it, whatever.
And we appreciate your honesty because then we don't got to listen to you.
Now here's I'm glad we talk about it. Let's talk about that shit because every time I jump on the internet, anytime I see anything about Ironheart, all I see is people whining about the racists, people whining about the sexist, and I'm sick of Eli. I'm sick of people whining about it. I know I'm whining about it, but I'm tired of other people whining about it also. You don't have to jump on every thread attacking these people you've never met before, people that don't even have a profile pic. A pick of fucking anime or some shit like that. Like that. You arguing with some asshole like that. Why? Who gives a fuck what he thinks? If he don't like the show, that's him. For whatever reason. Racist, sexist, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, he don't like it. You don't have to engage with this motherfucker. Do something other self. Here's the problem. Y'all always feeding into negativity. You know what that is? That's the algorithm talking.
Yeah.
Because you're feeding into the negativity, the algorithm is picking that shit up and feeding it back to you. Now, I remember, Eli, when we first got on the internet, everybody knew the number one rule when you jump on the internet, do not feed the trolls.
Yep.
And in 2025, that's all we do now. We just feed the troll. We just keep attacking them, just going out there. And do you wonder why your feed looks like shit? Because that's what the algorithm thinks you want. So.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's I'm done with my rant. I'm sorry.
No, good. No, mic drop. Exactly.
Oh man, I'm just sick of it, man.
Yeah, I get it too. You know, it's like
Like
I
you
got.
don't have to engage every time. Like if they jump on your post while you just trying to be, civil and stuff like that. Okay, that's a different story because they're ready for it. But you don't have to go search for these motherfuckers. And,
Yeah.
I see people doing that shit too much.
I got to remind myself: do not read the comments. Do not read the comments.
Yeah, that's the because at the end of the day, regardless of whether Riri succeeds or fails, these assholes have no power over that.
Yeah.
If they don't watch the show and they don't boycott it don't matter because they were gonna watch it anyway.
And let's get
All
serious.
that matters.
They're making their money off this show.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's
they're
all
getting all
clickbait, it's all
they're going to
grifting.
bitch about
Yeah.
it as much as they bitch about it and hate it or whatever or claim to. Their clicks, all their attention is because of the show.
Right.
So they live for this. They if shit stopped being woke tomorrow, they'd shit their pants.
Right. They wouldn't know what to talk about because they know it's easy money. They can just talk about that, get clicks, get attention, all this shit like that because the algorithm, because they know if they spit negative shit, it's going to feed into it.
Yeah.
Like I said, Eli, if I would have made the thumbnail, Ironheart is the worst MCU show ever, man, this
Oh
shit
man, we would have got monetized. What the fuck?
We'd have got monetized. We'd be getting paid for this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like doing this shit. I don't feel like going on here and having a narrative or agenda like that. No, I'm just going to just talk about the show and this what it is, this what I thought about it, and just leave it at that. I ain't got time for the other bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I hate for the rant. I didn't even want to do that, Eli. I just want to just talk about the show, but
I think it's sometimes it's just unavoidable. Like
it's the elephant in the room. You kind of got to address it sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we did it with Echo, we did it with Naruto, we did it with everything. Miles and
right.
It's just
Captain America.
Yeah, yeah. It just happens, and we know why. It's just like we predict it, and we have. Sometimes we just got to remind ourselves and everyone else, I guess.
Right. Now, I will say this also. Okay, like I said, if you hate the show because you're racist and you're sexist like that, okay, fine. What the fuck ever. You've seen the first 3 episodes. I don't know why, but you watched 3 episodes. Don't watch the next episodes. If you already said you don't like the show, why the fuck are you watching the next 3 episodes after that?
Yeah.
Just
Stupid.
just go do something else.
Top Gun. That's why Top Gun exists.
Like I said, I don't like Harry Potter. I don't watch Harry Potter. I don't know what the fuck Harry Potter is. Do I come on this podcast and rant about Harry Potter every week? No, I don't. I don't think about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So why I read about some shit I don't like? I just talk about shit I do like.
Yeah, that like our when we do comic reviews, I read a bunch of comics every week, but I only talk about 2 or 3 of them sometimes.
Right.
Some I don't feel like talking about shit I don't like.
Right. I mean, we're gonna run into some stinkers every now and then. You can pick up a bad book and be like, "Oh, damn!" But at least we thought it was something that caught our attention to begin with. We don't go looking for bad shit. We don't go looking for shit to shit on.
Yeah, occasionally, yes. There's something that really pissed me off where I just got to get it off my chest. Halloween ends,
right.
but but
are we gonna fight over that, Eli? Because we went to war on Halloween.
But I'm just saying, for the most part, I don't like talking about shit I don't like. Because that's just a waste of time for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus, we trying to be entertaining. That shit, that's not entertaining for y'all. So they're like, man, I did some shit I don't like to watch. And like,
also,
you can hear the enthusiasm just taken out of our throat. We don't want to hear that shit. So yeah.
But also, if I have to talk about something I don't like, it's constructive criticism. Like I'm going to tell you why I didn't like it and give you actual concrete, critique on what I didn't enjoy about it. Not, it just sucks because it was whatever. I didn't like it.
But here's the thing, Eli, no matter what we do, if we don't like Acolyte, we're racist and sexist. So it don't matter.
Yeah.
No matter how many points we gave why we don't like it, if we don't like it, we're racist, we hate women, blah, blah, stuff like that. So yeah.
Hey, but we still say it's got the best lightsaber tool.
We said it. We gave it props for something, but the fact that we didn't praise it to high heavens, we hate women.
Yeah, we hate women. We hate,
You can't win. Like you can't make, and that's what I hate about this, man, is that the internet makes it so you can't make a criticism on anything. You can't make a critique on anything because they think anything you say has to have a political agenda behind it where you can just talk about it. We can't talk about anything anymore. Nobody is talking about this show, Eli. They're talking about people talking about the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's getting lost in the sauce nowadays. So,
yeah. And like I said, here was a show that came up. I that I genuinely enjoyed for the most part. You know, sure,
Right.
like it has its flaws.
Right.
But as far as MCU goes, I'm enjoying it more than others. You know,
Hmm.
so you know, and I hated Loki and Moon Knight and.
Right.
But I
And
enjoy.
like I said, I don't think that's the show that's going to save the MCU because honestly, I think that, my opinion, I may get in trouble for this, Eli. I think when after next week, when Ironheart is over, we may not be talking about the show again. Like maybe
Yeah.
it. I don't think it's going to thing that's going to hang over our head. We're going to be talking about it for weeks on end or days on end. It's going to be like Captain America. Like when it dropped and that when it was done, we were done. That's it. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna, like we're going to be entertained when it happens, but when it's done, that's it. And now, for the point is, that's fine. Like I said, it's okay to
Well,
just watch the show, be entertained, just move on.
the only
But
reason why Echo keeps getting brought up is because I keep bringing it up.
you never bring up Echo. Like,
Well,
this like the first time you brought up.
Yeah, now, but no one's talking about it. Is my point.
right. That's what. Okay, I was about to say. But you're right. You're right. Like nobody, people don't even remember Echo.
And
Like when I keep naming shows,
what was the
that
last
people,
comic she was in? Like she was in a bunch of comics for the past couple of years, and now nada.
Well, that's because of the show. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, we can't be making it off this, so we can't make season 2 when she's a Phoenix. So might as well just take out the comics. So shit.
Yeah, she had the Phoenix, and now we have nothing.
So we got off the rails with this, Eli. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we enjoyed the show. Watch it. We don't know what's going to happen.
The
with the next
first 3 episodes were enjoyable. Yeah,
thumbs up. That's all I can say.
The first episode was a little slow for me,
Yes.
but by the end of it, I was hooked. I really enjoyed the second episode, and then tensions got really high in the third one. You know,
yeah. Like maybe like, how is she going to get out of it? I don't know how she's going to get out of this. So
yeah, I was genuinely like, oh shit, at the end of the episode.
All right. They can move on to the next part of the podcast. Okay.
Sure.
I think we've gone as much as Riri as we could possibly go. So yeah. All right. So next thing we're gonna talk about something we actually talked about last week. We're gonna revisit this week because the Batman 2 script has been completed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You gotta talk about that. Let me see if I can throw that out without. Nope, messed that up. Never mind. I don't know what I did with it. Is this it? That ain't it. Never mind. Anyway, point is, it's out. They basically James Gunn said that what's the guy named Matt Reeves had to the end of the month to put it out. He was putting pressure on. I'm thinking like, well, what would happen if he didn't do it? What you gonna do, James Gunn? So, but no, he did. He threw that. This is the only thing we got. Just this picture right here of Matt Reeves and his co-writer. And if you zoom in, I think it says the Batman Part 2. What script is. So
yeah,
that's the name of it. So and it's done. It's completed. Because the thing is, James Gunn said he is not shooting any movie until he gets a script. We got a script, so now it's going to get shot. It's supposed to start shooting at the end of this year. So let's see. Robert Pattinson is like busy as fuck. I think he's in Dune 3, 2. What
yeah, he's in the next Dune movie. He's shooting it back to back.
Yeah. So we'll see what that happens. So yeah, that's all we got with that. We'll see what happens. Like I said, we talked about it last week. We just wanted to just update it. So yeah, can move on next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay, video game section time. Okay, Eli, I don't know. Dun, dun. That may be the wrong music, but anyway, I don't know if you heard, Eli, but there's a new Street Fighter movie coming out.
I have heard.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if yeah. So we got a cat, and at first I was like, this shit ain't real. This shit got to be AI, stuff like that. But no, it's been confirmed, like Deadline, Hollywood, all the stuff like that. So apparently, Jason Momoa is playing Blanca, and yeah,
Roman Reigns
is playing Akuma.
Yeah.
For those that don't know Akuma, if you make it to the end of our episodes, I'm always doing a Akuma combo at the end for the 2 people that seen that. So yeah, what else we got here? The dude that played Adam Smasher is playing Ken in Black Adam. So yeah. And I think the dude that played Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movie, he was in some other shit, better shit also. But I think he's playing Ryu, whatever.
Ryu, yeah.
But we're going to talk about Chun-Li for a second because they cast Chun-Li, this actually here. So, like I said, to me, she looks pretty good, but you don't take my word for it because I have an undiagnosed Asian fetish, so don't listen to me. So, yeah. But at the same time, Eli, I don't think she's gonna hold up to the GOAT Chun-Li cast of all time. You know where I'm going with that. I should. I'm just saying.
City Hunter.
Eli, that post took the fuck off, man. You should be surprised, man. Oh man. Also,
Jackie Chan as City Hunter is a classic.
Happy Pride Month, I guess. We almost think.
Sure, I guess. Yeah, we're still in it.
We're still
June,
there,
right?
So, yeah. We're still in June, so yeah.
He played everybody. He was Blanca. He was Ken in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was what's his name? Dalsim or whatever. He was like a bunch.
Arms and stuff.
Yeah, he was a bunch of characters in that movie. Yeah.
City, like I said, City Hunter is the movie we're talking about. For those who haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure if you look hard enough, you can find it. So yeah.
Yeah. Jackie Chan.
Also, Balrog. Balrog's been cast. You know who they picked, right?
I think I heard. Wait, remind me. I think I remind me.
I'll just post a picture.
Oh, that's right.
You admit? Yep.
That's right.
50 Cent is playing Balrog. So, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
Eli, this is becoming like a joke movie now.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
Like, I would say, like,
wait, it gets worse. It gets worse because they also got another casting that they just announced, like I think yesterday. Stand-up comedian Andrew Schultz is playing Dan.
So I take it he's not going to do any fight scenes.
He probably will. Okay, are you familiar with Dan?
No.
In the Street Fighter. Okay, here's the thing. So Dan is actually the worst Street Fighter character in the games. He's purposely bad on purpose. He has no moves. He sucks. The thing like that. His backstory is that Sagat killed his father.
Okay.
So he trained himself to get revenge on Sagat, and when he fought Sagat, he got his ass whooped also. So that's.
And who's playing Sagat? Do we get another native Sagat? Because West Studi played Sagat back in the
West Studi plays Sagat. So they haven't announced Sagat yet. I mean, if Dan is here, you kind of gotta have Sagat because their stories like connected together. So yeah, just so Sagat can beat his ass. That's the only reason he's there for. So yeah. So that's all I got. Eli, my thoughts is this probably going to be a very terrible video game movie. So yeah. Will I be there front row of day one? Yes.
Can't be any worse than Mortal Kombat. I mean, and Mortal Kombat had cool fight scenes.
Mortal Kombat, yeah, so okay.
This probably won't have good fight scenes, but
it's probably going to be fucking terrible. I mean, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to watch it anyway. And then come on here and rant like, man, that movie fucking sucks.
Hey, I watched 6 seasons of Cobra Kai, so hey.
That shit gonna look like fucking End of the Dragon compared to this shit, man. So, oh shit! All right, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay, like I said, it's comic bullies. We're talking comic books. We're gonna jump into it. Eli, I think you got more books than me, so you know what? Can I go first?
Sure. I only got 2 books. What do you mean? How many books do you got? 1?
2.
Okay. Yeah.
I got 2.
Okay.
3. I got 3.
Okay.
2 and impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, I forgot to do the thing. Let me throw that in there. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. The first book I'm going to do is not a book I'm really going to do, but a book I'm going to do anyway. The history of the DC universe.
All right.
I'm not going to review it. This book is too much book to review, but I'm going to talk about it briefly. All right. So the book starts. I'm going to just tell you briefly about it, basically what is going on right now. So basically what this book is. Like I said, we've had like 100 crises and all shit like that. So basically what Mark Waid's doing, because he wrote this book, he's basically giving us one condensed timeline with the DC universe. I don't know if that's possible, but he made it possible. So he did it. So this is the timeline of the DC universe. No multiverse, no bullshit. This is it. Boom. That's it. So the book starts off with, let me get us out of here. Barry Allen. The book starts with Barry Allen. Now, for those who know about what happened with Barry Allen was the Flash. He never recovered from that bullshit Amanda Waller did. He never got his powers back. So he decided to retire. He's like, I'm done. That's it. But since he's seen more of a multiverse than anybody else, he decided to record everything he saw. And that's when we started talking. And that's when we started getting to this bullshit. And when I saw in the beginning, there was the source, I cut the shit off. I was done. I was like, I'm out. So, yeah. Eli, it reminded me too much of Sunday school. So I didn't want to. Because it started with the source and they rested for 7 days and the perpetual and the specter and that hand, the hand that shows up, they talk about that shit. I can't show the hand. You know, the hand. Anybody knows DC knows about the hand. But the point is, they got into deep lore and all that shit like that. And I'm like, I'm not about to do this, man. I'm not about to come over here and review this book because that is just too much book. One day I will sit down and break it down piece by piece, but I'm not finna read the Bible to y'all. I'm not. This isn't that podcast. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna throw it to you.
So no New Gods reviews, any kind.
All that shit was in there. No, hell no.
None of that hippie baloney. No.
Right.
Okay. Well, you want me to go next?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing that shit. No,
okay.
Man, I'm done.
All right. Well, I'll do Predator versus Spider-Man #3.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, this is issue 3. So a Predator has come to New York. Very hot. Power's out. So it's even hotter. MJ got trapped in the subway during the blackout. Peter is trying to figure out what's going on, and there's a cop investigating all these serial killings that are done by the Predator. Thinks it's
not Gene DeWolf, is it?
No.
Okay.
So it turns out a bunch of new Predators come down because this Yautja hunter actually went rogue. And they actually have a name. I can't remember what they are. This is like going back into deep Predator lore. When a Predator goes rogue and starts killing indiscriminately and not without honor, then they have to get put down. So now a hunting squad of Predators are after this Predator in New York. That's going around just killing anybody for because Predators have a code. No women, no kids. They can't be unarmed and all that stuff. But this Predator's going around just killing anybody. So Predators show up trying to figure out what's going on. They break into the Daily Bugle's office because, there's all this articles on it. And then Spidey shows up. So we get this cool fight between, Predators and Spidey, pretty cool shit. Meanwhile, Kraven the Hunter has come to town and he's trying to find the Predator. He's like, okay, I'm a hunter and I'm the greatest hunter and I must hunt the galaxy's greatest hunters. So, the guys from the Electric Country, they're right about to restore a grid and put power back on in New York, but Kraven shoots an arrow into the transformer, blows it up, and says, nope, power stays off until I find my prey.
Okay.
Then meanwhile, MJ, her and some people, they were trapped in the subway. They escape. The Predator gets down there and starts hacking up everybody in the subway and shit. But MJ follows this homeless dude down into the tunnel. And the homeless dude knows that, hey, the skin, they call him the Skinner. The Predator, that's what they named it. The serial killer named the Skinner. Like, yeah, he's been hanging out down here, and his hideout is down here. So you got come with me if you want to live, basically. So they follow the Predator, or they follow the homeless guy, MJ. They follow the homeless guy down into the tunnels, and then they find a pit of rats. It's just a big pit of rats. And he says, okay, he's coming. Now stay down here as long as you can. Do not come up, no matter what you do. Stay down here. Do not try to escape. Just stay here. And he pushes MJ and the other woman into the pit of rats. So now they're just like swarmed in rats. And then the Predator kills the homeless guy, and then he's looking around for MJ and them. But all he sees is the heat signature of the rats because he's got thermal vision. Mm-hmm. So all he sees is a bunch of rats, the body heat of the rat. He doesn't see MJ under them. So,
interesting. Okay.
And then we go back to J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, what the hell's going on? And then that detective showed up. Detective LaPearl is her name.
LaPearl. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound like a new character, but okay.
Yeah. And he's like, what the hell happened? And you know, Peter and the Predators were fighting up in the office of the Daily Bugle. And then it just blows up. And Jay Jonah's like, what the hell is going on in my office? Blah, 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 blah. And then the detective shows up and says, hey, I've been investigating Peter Parker because he seems to know what's going on with these murders because Peter's been investigating them too as Spider-Man,
Mhm.
you know. And then the Predator shows up at the end and to be concluded, you know. So, yeah, pretty cool. So far it's been, this has been a lot of dumb, stupid fun, you know. Predator, you know, in New York, killing everybody. You got fucking Peter fighting predators. You got Craven running around. You got MJ in the subways. It's just a lot of dumb.
Sounds a lot like Predator 2.
Yeah, like the city,
Yeah.
the city
Concrete
hunter.
Jungle. Yeah.
City hunter. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another 4 out of 5. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Another 4 out of 5.
Another 4 out of 5. Let me see if I can throw this book in here. Damn it, I can't show you the book. Anyway, there's another book that came out called I'm gonna do Spider-Man also, but the Spider-Man book I'm not gonna do. Not the Spider-Man book you think I'm gonna do. You remember the Spider-Man Wolverine book that's out right now? I ain't got a picture of it, but okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the big like twist or point of that book?
No.
You haven't?
No.
It's crazy. Okay, so apparently Spider-Man finds out that Wolverine killed his parents.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
This is in continuity. This is not somewhere else world shit. Apparently, he was like, at the time, he was like brainwashed by Hydra. Because, you know, apparently, like, you know, Peter's parents used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury, some shit like that.
Yeah.
So apparently, at the time, Wolverine worked for Hydra or some shit. And he was ordered to take them out.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah. So,
yeah,
I didn't pick it up, but I was like,
he just can't catch a break, can he? This kid.
The Marvel hates Spider-Man. That's what I know.
That should
shit on
put
him is
this
we're
kid through the
Paul.
ringer, this poor bastard.
Right. Oh man. All right. So now let me do a real Spider-Man book. Okay, the Spider-Man we're gonna do is Ultimate Spider-Man number 18.
Okay, I read this too.
You read this, okay. Have you heard that the Ultimate line, all of them, ends at issue 24?
I did not.
Yeah, the whole thing. This Ultimate Black Panther, all of it.
Ultimate.
Yeah,
okay.
24, it's all gone. Yeah, they basically it's a 2-year storyline. After that, that's it. They moving on to something else. So I don't know, make somebody come and just kill everybody. We don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Do I have it on there? Ultimate Spider-Man. Like I said, you read it. I'm just gonna just breeze through it. Like I said, you read it, so you can kind of like help me hit the high points and the cliff notes and all that good stuff like that. Where is it? Let's try that one. That ain't it. That's it. Okay. All right. So, boom. Book starts off, and you got Spider-Man and Spider-Man Jr., Venom, whatever you want to call it. Basically, what's happening, they're in hiding because, like I said, all the bad guys know that, you know, he's Peter Parker, know he stays at, all this shit like that. So that basically they go to like some remote area, I guess Arizona, something like that. And like you said, Harry is back. They know Harry is back, and they're basically paying attack to, now that the family's safe, they're going to go back to New York and take out the Sinister Six. So that's the plan. So he's like, so the family's gonna be here, and we're gonna get Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson to watch after the kids and watch after Mary Jane while we're gone. And Uncle Ben, they love Uncle Ben, and plus he wants to protect Uncle Ben also. He don't want Uncle Ben out there because he know that they're gonna come after him too. So
yeah, because they confronted what's her face, Gwen.
Oh yeah, and then Gwen got this thing also. So they were like, "Where's Gwen?" So Gwen is working with Peter and Harry also, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, and then she faked Harry. Well, yeah. We found out that Gwen is a Mysterio.
Mysterio. Yeah.
The Council of Mysterios.
So, yeah. And the funny thing is, like I said, we see all of them. We got Quentin Beck. We got Robbie Robertson. Everybody's talking. It's like, well, what do you think? And then there's another mysterious Mysterio. That's fucked up to say. That pops up, and I think is this Vanessa? Let me see.
I don't know. Okay.
It looked like Vanessa, man. I don't know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kingpin is in this book doing the Sinister Six. He's like funding the Sinister Six or whatever.
Yeah, he's funding the Sinister Six, so it'd be weird if his wife is plotting against him, but actually it wouldn't be weird.
It's Hickman.
But they never said her name. But I was just like, is that Vanessa? They want you because the thing is, they took so long to show her face, so she's supposed to be somebody poor. So it's got to be Vanessa. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway,
It ain't Rogue, is it?
like all the time just to do Rogue and let me just look.
I'm just saying her dyed hair. You know what I mean? That little white streak.
For them to do this big build up to be an X-Man, it's like okay, yeah, because they I think it's the first time they even showed her. Like they've showed the Mysterios, but never showed her before.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you got Harry and Peter going around, and Peter's like, "Let me go back to my house to make sure everything's fine." So he goes back to his house. Oh no, they beat up some bad guys. They're like, "We got an outer key. We beat some bad guys. They beat up some bad guys. Just show some guy." Oh, and this John Romita Senior shit. I love this shit. That poster, and then they beat up everybody in like 15 minutes. Okay, we got 15 minutes. We still got 45 minutes spare. Let's go to my house. Let's go there. And he goes to his house, and it's not only his house been like destroyed, but it's like something. And then he turns around, Spicer goes off, and bam, he webs up Otto Octavius. So apparently, Otto Octavius has been living in his house since they've been gone. Reason he did it because he was supposed to come there to like set up some security systems to make sure nobody comes in there. But he's like, well, since y'all ain't been here, I'm gonna just stay there. So he like wearing his slippers and his robe and his underwear and shit, and just like fuck,
eating pizza.
Yeah, he was like, man, get the fuck out of my house, man. So yeah. Now this storyline right here, so they found it going on. They were like, Mary Jane gets a note that said, oh shit, Harry, Rich is gone. Like the son, he dipped, he's gone. They don't know where he's at. So because apparently he got a text from his girlfriend, Black Cat.
Yeah.
And all you heard was, I need to see you. So you tell a 16-year-old boy his girlfriend needs to see him. You ain't stopping that. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck who.
Even if he's on the other side of the country.
You ain't stopping that. So he found a way. So he decided, he didn't even know he could go invisible. He figured out a superpower to sneak on the plane to go see his girlfriend, so his dad and his uncle wouldn't catch him. So,
Dreamweaver, yeah.
like I said, you are not stopping a horned up 16-year-old boy from anything. So, all right, so they swing over there, and like I said, Richard is there because they don't know he's in town. So he's back to New York, and he goes to see his girlfriend. He's like, oh, I bet she's butt ass naked right now. Let me see what the fuck going on. And he sees her, like, hell yeah, you miss me? Yeah, I miss you. But not only that, turn on the lights, bam, Kingpin and all his minions are sitting there waiting on them also, like, hey, lover boy, It was like I know this looks bad, but here's the thing. You're gonna tell me where Spider-Man is, whether you like it or not, because I know you know him. They're like, oh shit. And she like, I thought you loved me, Black Cat. She was like, I do. Then why'd you do it? Because it's in my nature.
I'm a bad guy. I'm a villain.
Yeah, I'm a villain. We're bad guys. That's what we do. What is I'm not bad. I'm drawn that way. Or some shit. So yeah. Eli, I was so heartbroken, man. I was like, man. Oh, here we got Jake.
Well,
Jake, where you been?
You knew it. Oh, say, hey, Jakey Poo's in the house. What up?
Y'all late, but I'm yeah. Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen, but oh man, it still hurts for it to happen. Here's the thing: you see all the red flags, you know it's a red flag, but you don't pay attention to red flags, man. Eli, when you was a 16-year-old boy, you didn't pay attention to red flags, so you can't be mad at him because he's a dumbass. I mean, shit, he's just. Oh,
yeah, I probably would have been that stupid too. Hey, come here, okay.
Right. I mean, yeah, she is a super villain, but have you seen her in the car stove? That's the thing.
I love red flags.
I love me some red flags. Like I said, another banger from Hickman. Hickman's killing it, and still, you barely get any Spider-Man in this Spider-Man book, but Hickman's still killing it. So yeah,
I mean, you got him kicking some ass, but I also like that his son is the dumb teenager that's in over his head.
That he was in the cop, right? He's doing the dumb shit Peter would be doing, right?
And like the humor. Okay, that scene with Doc Ock in the apartment, that was funny. That generally made me laugh. And like that's what I'm talking about, because I was reading, what was that Godzilla and the Avengers or whatever, where Peter was just trying to talk all this shit and be funny and be like Deadpool, and it was just super corny. Like they're trying so hard to have Peter be funny and comic relief, and it just wasn't working for me. But here this was just generally a funny situation that was funny.
He's not being overly funny. It's just a natural
Yeah.
situation, like a sitcom almost.
Yeah, he fucking goes home and Doc Ock's been chilling there. He webs him up and he's been eating pizza in his drawers and like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know, the fuck you doing here? I'm watching your house. Like, like what the fuck? That was funny, you know. So it's that type of like that was actually funny.
Yeah.
Like we got Spider-Man humor without being corny. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, like we've never known Hickman to be like a funny writer. He's always this big epic guy like that, but it's just him just slice of life funny shit, man. Yes.
Yeah. He actually made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm saying. So yeah, great book, man. I'm still loving it. I'm almost sad, like I don't really care too much about the Ultimate Universe ending, but I'm gonna be sad when this book ends.
Yeah, this is I think the only one I'm reading now. You know, I sampled most of them, and this is the only one.
I mean, by far the best book in the group.
Yeah.
So all right. So what you got next? Or?
I have Incredible Hulk number 26.
Okay.
So this has the Hulk and Charlie still on the run. Thor was in last issue, tried to stop Hulk, you know. And they created a big old ruckus in New York. So they took off into the woods, but now Bucky's after, you know.
Right.
Winter Soldier's on the hunt.
Yeah, I saw him on the cover. Oh, you mean the Revolution?
Yeah. So they're up in the woods chilling because, you know, they're hiding out. And Charlie's still like, we're not the bad guys. People don't, you know, we're not, you know, deer come up to us and eat out of our hands. We can't be that evil because she's got that lichen skin or whatever that turns into this like werewolf demon and shit that all the gods are after her now, you know. But she doesn't know how to use it that well. So then Bucky shows up, and you know, of course, we have a cool, you know, superhero good old beat down with Bucky versus the Hulk. But Bucky's got all this high tech weaponry that, you know, like freezes like a time warp that he shoots the Hulk and makes him slow down.
Oh wow, okay.
and basically almost like freezes the Hulk, you know, and basically says, hey, there's some shit going on. That mother of demons or whatever, or mother of monsters or whatever, they've been going around the world kidnapping gamma radiated people. And they kidnapped Scar and they kidnapped Doc Samson and some others.
Samson, okay.
Yeah, and they're like, we got, you know, something's happening, and they're gonna come after you. So we need to, you know, to rein you in, Hulk, you know. But then what's her face shows up and starts, you know, get away from him, Charlie. Like, get away from me. Hulk is misunderstood. Everyone thinks he's a monster, but he's a hero. Blah 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 blah. Tries to convince him, and Bucky's like, you know what? Fine, I'm out of here. And then the Hulk ends up like, you know, breaking out of that frozen thing and starts going on a rampage. And Bucky has to dip, but he tells Charlie, hey, you know, I know you think you're helping him, but sooner or later, you know, most people who tag along with the Hulk end up getting hurt in the end. So,
I mean, or getting powers, you know.
Yeah, like I'm just warning you. And he takes off, and then they end up like making a campfire and they're going to bed or whatever. And she falls asleep, but then she ends up in the Hulkscape, that pocket dimension. That's like the, you know, inside the Hulk's mind. Banner, that's where Banner's been the whole time. He's like imprisoned in the Hulkscape. It's like another dimension created by the one below all.
So has Banner been in this book?
Yeah, but right now most of the time he's been trapped in the Hulkscape, that pocket dimension.
Okay.
And Hulk just, you know, is just walking around. You know, it's without Banner. You know, Banner's kind of imprisoned in his mind. So, and that's what Bucky says. Like, you guys need each other. Banner, you may think Banner's puny and you don't need him, but he's the one who keeps you under control. You know, that's what Bucky was talking to him. So she's in the Hulk. She like has a nightmare or whatever, ends up in the Hulkscape. And then when she wakes up, that skin, she starts losing control of her powers again. You know, and becomes that werewolf demon. And she ends up flying away. And Hulk's like, oh shit. So Charlie just flew away as the or as the wolf demon. And Hulk is just like, oh shit, she's gone. And that's kind of where it ends. Yeah, I don't know how many more issues there are. I think this has got to be coming to an end soon. But like I said, this was one of the better issues. This does just enough to keep me interested. I feel like this run is kind of tends to drag a little bit. But like I said, it keeps me interested doing the bare minimum. It is.
Well, funny thing about it, like they've announced a bunch of books. Like Marvel's canceling a shit ton of books, but I don't remember seeing this on the list of books that was getting canceled.
Yeah, in the end, this is just monsters fighting monsters. So it's sticking to a really basic, easy formula that I'm enjoying, but it tends to drag things. I mean, this book has been crazy. It's been all over the place, you know. But yeah, in the end, it's Hulk on the run, just like the TV show, you know. do 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 do. You do. So yeah, sticking to the formula that works, and it's doing just enough to you know, where I'm still on it. It's been over 2 years now. Yeah.
Well, let me see. Will they cancel?
Wait, they cancel books? Yeah, all the time.
All the time, yeah. You think we just stopped reading because we didn't? No, they stop reading them because they just don't make them anymore.
Or they change writers. The stories come to an end, and they switch things up, and other writers go on to do other books, and it just
or nobody's buying Psylocke other than Eli. So
yeah, that is true.
It happens, you know.
Yeah. I probably am the only one reading Psylocke. I'm the only one reviewing it every week.
Yeah, nobody else talking about it. Not to say it's a bad book. It just happens. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, Marvel wants quote. Here's the thing: comics have to make money too.
Yeah,
they don't just do this shit for the goodness of their heart. They have to make their budget back also. If they don't, it's just like any other business to get canceled. So I mean,
you got to read it. If no one's reading it, no one's going to buy it.
If you don't read it, they stop making it. That's what happens.
That's pretty much how it goes. Yeah,
that's what we just talked about at the beginning. Like when I talked about, I was reading Eve Ewing's Ironheart book, and it just canceled it because I was the only one reading it. So.
While everyone's bitching about how come there's no black characters,
right? And that's Eli. I'm so sick of this shit. Okay, I hate to go on a rant.
PTSD again.
Let's go PTSD again. Because the thing is, Luke Cage. When the last time Luke Cage had a comic?
His own book?
Exactly. That's my whole point. Luke Cage had a comic. Nobody bought that shit. That shit was like number 235 in like the monthly sales and shit like that. Like no sales like that.
Well, remember when they were doing those hip hop covers? Because I had a bunch of those variants. With like Power Man and Iron Fist and shit.
Yeah. But then when they canceled the book, that shit got national news and shit like that. Marvel hates black people. Marvel hates black superheroes. They never make. They made the book. They made it. Y'all didn't buy it. So don't get mad at them when they canceled it because y'all it ain't selling.
Yeah, the Run the Jewels variant covers and
right.
There was some dope. Remember, was it the Howard the Duck? Was it Howard the Duck and Deadpool as Run the Jewels?
Right. So, like I said, man, you got to buy this shit. If you don't buy this shit, they won't make the shit. That's how business works.
Yeah, so. Like Method Man had his own Marvel podcast on the Marvel Network and shit. Like
he tried to write Marvel. They were like, oh, that's okay. I think we're going too far with the celebrity shit now.
Johnny Blaze.
Right. All right. Can we move on next? Can I do my last book?
Sure.
Okay, so my book is a book that came out actually not this week, but actually a few weeks ago. But shit happened, we didn't get a chance to. But I feel like I do need to revisit this book. So it's a book. It's the last book of this series. We're going to review it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto.
Oh yeah.
This is it. Last book, the finale. So I'll like to go ahead and wrap this story up. So you got Naruto facing off with Shredder. I'm like, oh, I got to see this shit.
Believe it.
Motherfucker. All right, so let's see what the book goes. Like I said, finale. This is it. Last book in the run. All right, so you got Of course, Shredder is Super Shredder. He drank some ooze, got superpowers and shit like that, and now is beating the shit out of everybody. Beating the shit out of Turtles, beating the shit out of Team 7. Everybody like, y'all can't stop me. I'm going to take over the world and destroy everybody and shit like, yeah, you know, the bullshit. Yeah. Beating the fuck out of everybody. You can see what's going on. That Fox that worked for Shredder just like, man, fuck this, we're getting out of here. And decides to free Splinter and April because the Fox is like, Splinter was about to kill, Shredder's about to kill me anyway, so I might as well just let you guys go because I'm gonna need y'all help to get me the fuck up out of here. Y'all help me leave. So they do all their thing, and then I gotta show this panel. Like I said, the Turtles seem to have been getting this shit beat out of them. And Naruto looks at Shredder like, you're a monster. And all you hear is in the back of Naruto's mind, oh, he's not a monster. And then you got Karamu, I think it was his name, the Nine-Tails Fox. He was like, release me, Naruto, and I'll show Shredder what a monster looks like. And Naruto like, I'm leaving you in the cage, but I'm taking a little bit of your power. I'm gonna give me a little bit of your power. So Naruto, I'm like I said, it's a different continuity, but around this time in the manga, he learned how to tap into the power of the Nine-Tails Fox just a little bit. Because if you tap in too much, the Fox will take over. He'll kill everybody. So you got to be a little bit careful. But he's able to tap in just enough to power himself up. He was like, okay, fuck that, let's go. You hurt my friends, you pay. He's like, your friends? And Shredder's like, that's why they on the ground right now, because you depend too much on your friends. That's why your ass got beat. Look at me. I don't depend on anybody. I got here by myself. I was alone on the streets. I raised myself. I trained myself. I'm here, and you're on the ground because you depend on people, but I am me because, and matter of fact, I'm going to make this world into my image because everybody needs to be like me. And that's when Naruto goes, bullshit. Nobody in this world makes it by themselves. Anybody in this world that makes it has help from somebody. Friends, mentors, whatever. Look at you. Look, you were a Super Shredder, right? You got your powers from Baxter Stockman. And then you killed him. You learned how to fight from Hamato Roshi. Then you killed him. Like everything about you, you betrayed everybody that ever decided to help you. And that's something I can't forgive. And that's when he starts, Naruto, Nine-Tails Fox, Shadow Clone Jutsu. And I'm like,
Clone,
in
yeah,
the comic, whenever Naruto goes to this level in the comics, GG's roll credits. It don't matter who he's fighting. It's normally it. I'm like, this book at the end in 5 pages, So he's just like, so he goes that Shredder. He was like, now I promise my friends I'm gonna take you down. That's my ninja code. So he sends all the clones at him and shit like that. Shredder. He gets a few shots in on Shredder, but then the Turtles finally sort of like, Naruto, save something for us because that's your ninja code. Here's our ninja code because we fight for our friends, we fight for our family, we fight for the city. We fight because we're brothers, and they just fucking them up. They're like, damn. But the problem is, Leo sees that, okay, these attacks are too widespread. We're not going to win like this. He's analyzing. He was like, okay, so what's the plan? So then they start figuring out a plan. They were like, look, Sakura is going to fastball special the whole team at Shredder. If everybody can get on this platform, she can throw at them. And then they were like, okay, Donatello analyzed it like that. Okay, I've already analyzed his skin. It's bioelectric, it's biometal. So even though we can't hurt him, if we get electricity, say no more. Then you got Sasuke, and they got
Sensei or whatever.
Yeah, Kaka Sensei, because he has electrical powers, and Kaka Sensei knows how to mimic other powers. So they got this. So they just go at him. You're like, okay, let's fastball special, right? Let's go. And then everybody jumps on the platform at the same time, and she throws them at Shredder, the whole team. On the platform. And then you got them combining, bam, fuck Shredder up, actually knock his mask off and shit like that. And while he's weakening, the Turtles, I gotta show this panel, they fucking him up. Like, they were just slashing this shit to him like that. And then when they doing that, Naruto sent more Nine-Tail clones in him and shit like that. So they just bam, 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 hitting him. And they weakening him, but he's still standing. He was like, nah, I'm not going down. Y'all not gonna beat me. They were like, fuck, this guy's tired. They getting tired. They were like, okay, we got to hit this dude with everything we got. One time, one shot, KO him, be done with it. And they get out here. So, and that's when they go at him. And then the Ninja Turtles go, Dr. Bio. And then you got this shit right here. Well, Naruto does his Rasengan. Like I said, when he does that shit, it's a wrap. It's done. Ain't nobody surviving that shit. So they all attack him at the same time. And Shredder's done. Like Goop, they slice his ass into chopped sake. He's out of there. Bam, and he explodes. That's how that bad they fucked him up. And you got this awesome panel right here. So now it ain't nothing but left a shredder, but a bucket, a helmet that's in. He's oozing away and shit like that. But Kaka Sensei using his sensei powers, his reading his chakra. He's like, I still sense his chakra. It's faint, but I still sense it. So he's gone, but he's not dead. They're like, well, okay, who cares? He'll come back, we'll beat his ass again. They're like, oh. So now April got all the footage, so she's gonna show the footage, and she's gonna become this Pulitzer Prize winning whatever, like shit like that. And they were like, okay. They invite the Fox to go back and loot with the turtles. And decided to come with them, and they were like, we're going back to the ninja village and do that. And Michelangelo, hold up. Y'all can't leave yet. We got some unfinished business. And next page, pizza time. The end. Fin. So, like I said,
go ninja, go.
Go. Man, if they would have started dancing and rapping at the end of it, I might get a book 5 out of 5. But yeah. But yeah, fun, goofy story. All I wanted. Remove the. Oh no, I've been getting spam with them left and right. Anyway, what Jet got? Let's see. Slap rating. Okay, this book 4 out of 5 because it felt like they kept doing the same thing straight over and over again. Let's take them with everything we got. That ain't work. Let's take them again with everything we got. That ain't work. Let's take them again with everything. Like, okay, y'all gonna switch it up? Y'all just do the same shit. So I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. Still a fun book, but overall, this was a fun series. Get in, get out. If you don't know anything about Ninja Turtles, this will get you up. If you don't know anything about everybody knows about it, but if you don't know anything about Naruto, this is a good entry thing. Like I said, they screw with the continuity a little bit, but it puts your foot in the door. That's all it matters.
Yeah. I feel like they should do a sequel where Naruto does bring out the nine-tailed fox.
He can't. If he does, yeah.
But against Krang.
Oh yeah. Oh, like something like a bigger threat or some shit like that. So yeah,
like Krang invades and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this success. They may do this again. We'll see. Like I said, y'all gotta buy these books. If you don't buy them, they won't make them. Like I said, so I bought them. That's why I want to see a sequel of this and see where they go with that one. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Is this IDW?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's IDW and Viz Media.
Okay, yeah, because I mean,
like Shonen Jump or whatever. So
yeah, like Ninja Turtles have been crossing over with He-Man, with of course the Batman Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Those were dope. There was Godzilla. Oh no, that was Godzilla versus Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
The first arc was cool. I fell off of the second one, but no, they've been doing crossovers for a while. Was it Transformers and Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, but we need more manga anime crossovers. Eli, do you know how much a Superman versus Goku comic will sell?
Oh shit! Well,
that would be national news. That will stop the podcast like that. This just in: breaking news: Goku versus Superman manga just comes out tomorrow.
Does anybody? It sounds like someone wants to make money. If some people want to make some money, it's just deciding who's going to make what.
Oh, we just talked about Deadpool and Batman got a comic coming out.
Yeah, well, that's that.
That's going to sell.
That's Marvel and that's Marvel and DC, which they've done before.
But we haven't seen that in 25 years, though.
Yeah. So, but I'm
like
saying
Deadpool didn't even. Well, he did, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but for manga to do that with DC in one of the yeah.
I mean, they already did. What Ninja Turtles? Well, that's Ninja Turtles. That's not manga. But yeah, but like I said, but manga need to branch out. We need to get on this One Piece, Bleach. I don't read any of this shit, but I might if they team up with fucking Green Lantern or some shit.
Yeah, All Might was it at My Hero Academia with
My Hero Academia, X-Men
with X-Men and shit, or even Superman, like All Might versus Superman.
Justice League, some shit like that. Yeah, like we're already getting Godzilla. Godzilla's a Japanese property like that. Bring some of the other stuff over. Talk to some people, get that shit over there. So yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Oh, matter of fact, here's a. I hate rumors. We gotta talk about rumors, stuff like that. Like we're talking about this Deadpool, Batman, and Captain America and Wonder Woman. Like we're finally getting crossovers. We ain't got crossovers in 25 years. I don't know if you know it, but Warner Brothers is going through some shit right now. It's so much shit I can't really say what they're doing. Point is, the company has been broken in half, and for all we know, Warner Brothers is looking to sell DC. Yeah. Okay. So if that happens, I ain't gonna say Disney gonna buy. Hopefully Disney don't buy them. But they're saying the company that may buy DC Comics may be Sony.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. But I think it's conflict of interest. If they buy DC, I think they got to give up Spider-Man.
I was about to say, what about, are we going to have Spider-Man versus Batman?
Spider-Man joined the Justice League and shit like that. Like they could do that, but I don't think they're gonna let them do that. So yeah. So my thing is this: I think it was gonna, and I think they're saying that's why, like, you're not getting Morbius 2 and Madam Web sequels and shit like that, or the Null trilogy. They're slowing this machine down because they know they're about to sell the product. So they're like, they just throw out one more Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, and sell this shit off. Let's make some money before we sell this shit off. So yeah. Because, I mean, they pretty much milked Spider-Man as much as they could.
Yeah, the video games and everything. Anime with comics.
Yeah. Even though it's a moneymaker for them. Yeah. Anime with comics. Here's the thing. Anime are comics. Well, manga is comics. It's like saying graphic novel. Some shit like that.
Well, I think he's like, if like we're saying, like if Dragon Ball and Superman and, all that shit.
Right.
Cowboy Bebop and Star Wars or Star Trek or
you know what the worst part about all this Sony movie bullshit like that? Morbius used to be a cool character. Nobody remembers that. Like Morbius used to be cool. Morbius used to show up in comics like,
he was pretty cool back.
He
in
was
the
a
day.
badass character. Now you can't say Morbius without people laughing at you.
Yeah.
It's like saying Rick James. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. Like, notice you have not seen Morbius in a Marvel comic since. They got the rights, they just do not use him anymore, even though he was like Midnight Suns and all this like that.
Yeah, and like we had like the Blood Hunt, the whole Blood Hunt event with with the world turned into vampires.
Was he even in that?
I don't recall seeing Morbius.
How the fuck you do a vampire crossover event without Morbius? I didn't even think about that till you just said that.
That's what I'm saying. I read a bunch of them books.
That's how bad Sony fucked him up. Damn.
You can't even show up in a vampire comic. Or Werewolf by Night and all that shit, man.
Holy shit. No, I'm just not thinking about that, man. That is messed up, man. Oh, man. Morbius should be cool, man. Okay, anyway. Anything else we got to talk about? Or
no, I'm booked out. I mean, I read that new Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. It's still going great. Kind of a setup issue. She's in a maze with the Minotaur. So.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That was, I mean, it's cool, and it is one of my favorite books, so that's a cool runner-up. I did read that Mr. Terrific, Year 1. I've been reading it. I read the last issue, but I think it was one of the weeks we took off, so that's why I didn't talk about it. So I read the new issue, but I'm not, like, well-versed in Mr. Terrific lore, so I feel like...
Let me explain something about Mr. Terrific. Yeah, okay, so Mr. Terrific, I understand he's a black superhero, but Mr. Terrific is different. He don't deal with street shit like every other black hero. Like, he's not in the hood, anything like that. He's in some weird multiverse space science bullshit. Like, he's out there. He's basically Black Miss Fantastic. If that makes any sense.
Basically, yeah. He's got these, and so this is Year 1, so it's like a retelling of his origins, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it's talking about how his son and wife died, and
but his wife shows up from the multiverse, and now she's missed.
And basically he was really down and depressed, and almost jumped off a bridge. But then the Spectre showed up and kind of gave him a new lease on life.
So the original Mr. Terrific doesn't show up.
They were in this issue. They were talking about it. How the other guy was a Mr. Terrific.
Terry Sloan. Okay.
Yeah,
so for those that don't know about Mr. Terrific, he's actually a race swap character also. Most people don't know that. But it was back in the 90s when it happened. That's why everybody thinking like a DEI. Like, yeah, Mr. Terrific was originally white. So, yeah.
And no one seemed to give a shit.
And no one gives a shit, yeah.
It's like no one gave a shit when Spawn came out and he was black. And that was like,
right.
No one, like, oh, okay. So, cool. Mm-hmm. And I mean, sure. I mean, nowadays people might accuse Todd McFarlane of being like a white savior or something or whatever.
Right.
But at the time,
I get why he did that. I get why he did that because when Todd McFarlane writing Spider-Man, I think he wrote a story one time where people just assume Spider-Man was white.
Yeah.
But like, why would you assume that? And honestly, I think that's why Miles Morales works and succeeds where other race swap characters don't. Because as Spider-Man, like, if you don't know his backstory and don't know Peter Parker, he has no race. He's not like Batman. or Superman when you see his face, he has no race. So you just put another dude in another suit and you can't see his face. It's still just still Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think I've seen that interview where Todd McFarlane was drawing a comic. I don't know if it ever got published, but he stopped some crime, stopped somebody from getting robbed, and the person that was getting robbed, like, oh, those damn whatever derogatory term, he said.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man said, "What do you think color skin I have under this mask?" And the guy he saved gets all like choked up or clams up or whatever. You know, so that was like I think one of the seeds that planted when he started writing Spawn, like make him a why does every superhero have to be white?
If you read the Spawn book, him being black was a joke. Because in the second issue, when he transformed to a human, he transformed to a white dude, blonde hair, blue eyed white dude.
Yeah.
Right. And then he looks himself in the mirror. He's like, wait a minute, I'm not white. So it was supposed to throw you off when he did that.
I did forget about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason he did it. It was supposed to be a joke. Yeah.
But yeah, he was just like, why does every superhero have to be white? So he just made him black. Just kind of like the same way that what Neil Adams did with Jon Stewart, you know, like let's,
right.
You know, make, why does every superhero got to be white? And that was back in the 70s.
That was back in the 70s, just like Nubia with Wonder Woman. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Or not Nubia. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of Naomi. That's what Riri. That's what Ironheart was reminding me of.
Did not want to talk about Naomi on here, but you brought it up, so yeah.
It was the kind of
Naomi was always in the back of my mind, and I was like, "Do not bring up Naomi."
I did fall off of Naomi. I didn't finish that.
Here's my thing: like, why is it's funny that Ironheart is getting so much like, well, at least engagement. Regardless, negative, positive, like the engagement. Naomi just came and went. Nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And I gave it a chance. I watched like
no
half
hatred.
the season.
No, it just went. Yeah,
so much shit to watch at the time. That was when it was saturated. Everything. I mean, we had the Arrowverse going. We had I mean, I think it was
Eli,
before
I've watched
Disney.
every episode of Naomi.
I'm sure you did.
That show sucked. And I've watched every CW show. That show sucked. I was like, what in the fuck is this? So, all right.
Wait, who is Naomi? What was she? She wasn't Kryptonian.
Exactly. She was like okay.
PTSD. Am I giving PTSD?
Yes, you are. Because I read all Naomi shit. Yes.
Didn't Bendis create her too?
Yes.
Wait, wasn't just him, was it? Didn't Sanford Green help?
Him and Jamal Crawford, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about basketball player, but that was Jamal Walker, I think. Anyway, he was co-creating anything. But anyway, they brought Bendis over there specifically to make them a Miles Morales. Like, give us a black superhero. Like, since you make so many black people in Marvel, give us one. And then he came up with Naomi. I'm like, oh, man. Okay. No. I'll tell you what. I'm going to talk about Naomi next week. We're going to talk about Ironheart again. We'll talk about the next 3 episodes. Because I don't want to talk about Naomi right now, man. That's yeah. And the thing is, Eli, I didn't want to talk about Naomi because I didn't want to shit on the show. Because I was like, why? I don't want to shit on the show, man. Because we barely get the black superheroes anymore. Why? And there's only one out there. I don't want to shit on. But now that it's over with, nobody knew about it. I can talk everything I want about it now.
Well, it almost feels like they created her to try and do a show and hopefully make a movie.
You can't say that, Eli. You can't say that. You can't say that. You hate women.
Oh, yeah.
They had an agenda. I mean, it's obvious they did. We know they did.
Yeah, because
we can't say that.
Her book came out, and then 6 months later there was a show.
Right, and the show just popped out of nowhere. Like, what? She was in the Justice League. Like, why are you here?
Yeah, she was everywhere. Well, that's the thing. I thought, is she a Kryptonian? And that was the hook for me.
No.
But then when she wasn't a Kryptonian, that's when I'm like, okay, I don't care anymore.
She was from a planet where only black people have superpowers. That's why I don't want to talk about Naomi. Let's keep going. All right. Let me say anything else we got to talk about, or
no? I was talking about Mr. Terrific, but somehow
who said we can't say Jake said it because Jake don't even know who the fuck Naomi is. So one of us Yeah, okay.
Oh, I mentioned, you mentioned Naomi. I was, oh yeah, Naomi, and then, okay, but
And that just went on a rant. Okay, my fault.
yeah. Anyways, I read that
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Terrific.
Naomi triggers me. My fault,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I read the Mr. Terrific, but I'm not well versed in the lore to talk about. I feel like there's stuff going on in the comic that's very significant, but it's going over my head because I don't know. I'm not
The
deep into
source
Mr.
wall and the
Deep into
presence
Mr.
and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just
Perpetua.
I don't know any of that shit. Yeah, he's got the balls. He's got those balls. I only seen Mr. Terrific is like on the cartoons and like Arrow.
Yeah. Oh, he sucked an arrow. All right. Well, you are not terrific. I don't know what the fuck you are.
No,
So,
yeah, that's all I know about Mr. Terrific. But I am enjoying like the storyline as far as his character arc, and how he's starting and stuff, and the loss of his family, and him, I am getting into like the character arc, but I don't know the history of it, and I guess that's probably it's a year one book, so it's probably full of Easter eggs that I'm not getting. So that's why I didn't review it.
Here's my thing about this. James Gunn is giving us Mr. Terrific in the DC universe. I better get a fucking Mr. Terrific movie. I don't want this one and done bullshit. I don't want you to check a box. I want a Mr. Terrific movie. I don't care if it's Terrifics. I don't care if it's Mr. Terrific year one. I want a terrific movie. Give it to me.
Well,
I want it.
Write that script because they ain't gonna shoot it if there ain't no script.
So that's her. He gonna shit on me. Like, the fuck is this? Oh, shit. No, he nothing to roast me. So
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Or are you done with Mr. Terrific? Or
I'm done with Mr. Terrific.
okay, sorry.
We went like an extra 10 minutes on this shit.
Right. Oh man. All right. Like I said, we're gonna talk next week about something. I guess we're gonna finish up the next half of Naomi. Fuck.
Wait, don't Superman come out?
Iron. No, that's later on. We got time.
Shit. Damn. My baby mama's
Yeah, we
in
got-
town and I got a sitter. Damn.
Oh yeah. Nope. It's
Now
gonna be
she's gonna be gone. She's gonna leave by the time Superman comes out. Damn.
Just tell her Superman is coming out. Maybe she'll stay. Anyway, yeah, I mean Ironheart. We're gonna watch second half of Ironheart, see if it fell off a cliff like IGN is saying, but we don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. We don't know. We'll talk about it. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
Talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel. Until then, Roman Reigns, take us home.